Yep.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Deb Brunetti, and I am Associate Director in the Hale Center for Career Development, General Career Advisor, and the Pre-Law Advisor. My colleague Cheryl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cheryl Banker, and I am the Senior Associate Director in the Hale Center. I've been with Con for almost 28 years. Deb, how long have you been around?
13.
Long time. And I'm also the pre-business advisor at Con and run a variety of different programs, also liaison with the academic side of the house, running some different types of programs that ties academics into career directly.
Yep.
Go ahead, Deb.
So one thing when we meet, Cheryl and I and our other colleagues often meet with prospective student athletes. And the question that I always ask them is, why do you think coaches and or the athletic department thinks it's at all relevant for you to hear from us, when mostly you probably don't know what you want to do, and that's perfectly okay. So I always ask students, why do you think coach would like you to meet with the career office? And mostly you don't know, right? Because that's not in the forefront of what you're thinking about right now. But the reason why we've been asked to participate today, and the reason why that many of the coaching staff ask prospective students to meet with one of us, is because while every university and college has a career office, we believe, and the coaching staff believes, that what we do in the Hale Center is very different from all the other schools that you may be applying to. So what makes us different, and I always say this to students, is most career offices are reactive, meaning students have to get themselves to the career office, and mostly they don't. Most career offices across the country see between 30 and 50% of a student body at any university or college, mostly like 30%, I think. We at the Hale Center see 90% of the student body at Connecticut College across all 4 years. Most other colleges see mostly juniors and seniors, and by that time, you know, you're running behind. We introduce ourselves first semester of a first-year student's experience at Con, and every student who matriculates at Connecticut College is assigned a specific career advisor, either Cheryl or me or one of our other colleagues. So every first-year student knows immediately who their career advisor is, where we're located, how we can help them. And we also demystify career. We don't expect anybody necessarily to know where they want to be at the end of their college career, but we want students to know what the resources are and how to start thinking about those things from the get-go. So right first semester, first year, we begin laying that out. Cheryl, I'm going to let you talk about our program.
Okay. So as Deb said, from first year forward, and even sometimes the summer prior to coming into college, first year students are reaching out to us asking a variety of questions on how to get involved. But one of the hallmarks of the Hale Center is completely different from other schools that you're looking at. Traditionally at Connecticut College, we were known for the funded internship program in the past, where each student was eligible to receive a stipend their junior summer to conduct an internship. Was it 3 or 4 years ago, Deb, we turned it on its head? And we decided that students needed to start preparing earlier. From first year forward, many students have to start developing the skills, the knowledge, and the abilities to be successful in their chosen career fields, or even just in exploring and getting networking out and doing some different things to learn about potential interest areas. So we developed what we call the Career Action Program. The Career Action Program includes a career preparation course, which you receive 1 credit for. It's approximately 6 weeks long, but it also then opens up your eligibility for funding for professional development opportunities as you move forward through our program. In that 6-week preparation class, you will receive foundational information on our resources and exploration. You'll do some self-assessment for yourself, values, interests, and aptitudes. You'll also start developing the professional materials that you need down the road, including your resume, your LinkedIn, how to network with alumni and other people out in fields that you're interested in, your cover letters, professional communication, and a whole bunch of other things that really lay the foundation for you as you step forward. We completely understand that some of you are ready to step forward and some of you are not, and that's okay. We're here to meet you where you are and move you forward. That's what's really critical. You complete the course and you get $500, you accrue $500 that can then be used for professional development opportunities. That might be transportation to an internship. It might be a train ticket to do a job shadow. Once we can do these things in person again, right? Soon, soon. Um, it can be used to take an online class. I'm thinking about business students from Wall Street Prep, an advanced financial modeling course or something that's going to provide skills for classes that we don't necessarily offer, but you can use your funding to do that. Deb, do you want to go into the next steps after that?
Yeah, so Cheryl did a great job of talking about the course. The next step after you complete or a student completes the career prep course, we call them advanced career engagements, and there are 4 areas. And students may complete 2 activities in each of the 4 areas that then allow them to continue to unlock funding. We wanted to make the funding more flexible as opposed to requiring students to use it simply the summer between junior and senior year. So now, as Cheryl mentioned, if a student, even during the first year, has some career-related activity or engagement, they can use their funding, all or part of it, right? That $500. To accrue additional clumps of $500, students complete these advanced career engagement, we call them ACEs, and then continue to unlock. Students can use pieces of their funding, and there's an application process, a proposal where they have to lay out what they intend to do with the funding, or they can save it until they've unlocked all up to $3,000 and use it for an internship. What that does oftentimes is allow students to create opportunity where sometimes none exists. So outside of paid internship programs, often students will find alumni or others who are doing work that interests them and ask, would you consider creating a position for me, and explain that they'll be receiving funding from the college. So it opens up a lot of doors where some have been closed.
And then, just building off of the advanced career engagements, the 4 areas, Deb, correct me if I'm wrong. We have alumni engagement, employer engagement, professional skill development, and then community engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And those are designed so that students engage with the resources around them and resources that are available to them, so they know how to do it along the way. So it's not anything above and beyond they have to do. They can complete all 4 areas while at Connecticut College, doing things that they normally should be doing anyways. And as they unlock their funds, as Deb said, then they can use it for a variety of different things, perhaps even saving it for the internship. The difference in this program is we are no longer, I'm going to say the word, spoon feeding students, but students have to be young adults. They have to become focused, and they have to become ready to explore these different areas and engage with us in order to unlock their funds. And that's half the fun of it. And we've been doing it now 2023 and 2024. And it is a lot of fun to see how far students have gone in unlocking their funds and the different things that they're doing.
And I just want to jump in and say that it's still okay. We are huge proponents of the fact that it's okay that you don't know what you want to do. And Cheryl mentioned aptly that we like to meet students where they are, but let's start early. I liken it to a toolbox. So students who complete the career prep class may still not, at the end of the 6 weeks, know what they want to do. Most don't, but they have the tools so that when they're ready to use them, they know where they are, who their resources are, and how to be professional. We talk a lot about professionalism, including what does professionalism look like as a student at Connecticut College. And so they start to make the connections between what they're doing as students and how that can relate to the world at large. And I just want to say one other thing that I think we do really, really well, and I'm proud of, and I know Cheryl is too, that oftentimes students have a difficult time making the connection between what they're learning in class and the world of work. And oftentimes students get questions from parents and others, what are you going to do with a major in philosophy? Or what kind of career can you do with an art history major? We are such huge fans of the liberal arts that what we do is we teach students how to tell their stories of the value of the liberal arts education and what they're learning. And we talk a lot about transferable skills and these things called career competencies, career readiness competencies, that students learn both in class and through student organizations and through athletics in every single thing they're doing, but often don't know how to talk about it, either verbally or on their resume. So I think we do a really, really good job right off the bat of getting students to understand how they can tell their stories effectively and how they can talk about the value of their education and everything they're doing. So we teach them how to build those stories on their resumes and how to talk about them.
Yeah. And one mantra of our office too is meet the student where they are. So for athletes that are out there, we understand the different pressures you're under, the different, you're held to a higher standard, right? And we will meet you. We understand you have practice in the morning. We understand you have practice at lunchtime. We understand you have practice sometimes in the evenings. There is always somebody in the office that's going to go the extra mile for you and meet you when and where you need to be met. So it's something that's really important. We are a hands-on office. I like to say, huh, Deb?
Oh, yeah.
The relationships we create with students, we're with you for 4 years. You don't have another advisor that's with you for that total of 4 years. You're going to move from your first year seminar advisor. You're going to declare your major. You're going to move to your major advisor. Your deans are always with you, but we are there with you. And we like to look at you as a whole student. You're just not an athlete. You're just not a history major. You're just not a member of a club. We help you pull all that together in a holistic way so that you can get to where you want to go. Now, Deb's going to talk about her specialty in a minute, but one of my specialties is pre-business. And for the past, I've been a pre-business advisor for a long time now. I don't even know how many years, but we've created a really neat pre-business advising program.
Cheryl,
Yep.
can I interrupt real quickly? Because this will tie into it
Yeah.
nicely. So for any of you who are thinking, yeah, but there's no business major at Con and there's no finance major at Con and or there's no whatever, believe me, Connecticut College students and alumni do everything that anybody else with a business major can do. And so specifically business, Cheryl's the go-to on that.
All right. So we've developed a variety of programs. We have a pre-business advising program. We have a huge network of alumni in every aspect of finance and business that are there to help you along. We run a different finance series every fall. We're at 8 o'clock because we're thinking of athletes. At 8 o'clock every Wednesday morning, there's a different alum on deck talking about what they do and how they got there, which is really important to you all that are just starting out. How do I ever get there, right? They're there to walk you through how they did it and also then to mentor you through your career decisions and how you get there. We have a Peggotty Investment Club. We have a Women in Finance Club. We have an Entrepreneurship Club. There's a Consulting Club. There's a Real Estate Club. There's a whole bunch of different clubs and ways for you to take the knowledge that you're learning in the different classes, including finance and accounting, which we now offer, and apply them in real life case studies. Peggotty Investment Club just did their annual stock pitch this past weekend. It was awesome. We had 5 different teams. We had over 75 people on the screen watching them, including the original donors, the original donor family to the club. That club has made an original gift of $20,000 into $200,000. So it's actual applied learning that they're doing through these activities. Another way that we enhance what you're doing in the classroom, and I do this across campus, across disciplines, across classes, is something called career informed learning, where we took the business school model of case studies. You know, in business school, everybody has to do a case study at some point. And we've implemented that model into art history classes, into English classes, into anthropology classes, across the spectrum. So I work with the faculty member, learn about the actual content of their class. We put our thinking caps on, I identify some alumni, we reach out to the alumni, and then together we create a case study for that particular class, to which then the alumni and faculty co-present, because it's a united front. The students work on these case studies, they present back to the faculty and the alum expert, and they're critiqued in 2 different ways. They're critiqued on their academic work and how they researched and collaborated as a team and so on and so forth. But then they're also critiqued from the career side, from the work side, by that expert in the field. And our alums, they're brutally honest. They'll tell students, you can't get away with that in the workplace. Or have you thought about this? Because again, it's a learning process. And how are you going to put your liberal arts skills, knowledge, and abilities in action in your chosen workspace? That's been a lot of fun to facilitate. It's a lot of fun to watch, but it's another way we do it. I'm going to throw back to Deb for pre-law.
So yeah, I am the pre-law advisor. haven't taken it over from Cheryl, who was pre-law advisor for many, many years. So I'm still learning, but I love it. And there are a significant number of students at Con who are interested potentially in the law. So there is a CC Law Society, and under that, there is also a mock trial club. And we have events throughout the year, visiting law school admission panels and other, LSAT prep and things like that. One question that we get all the time is, what should I major in if I'm interested in law, or is there a pre-law track? Not necessarily. Law school doesn't care what you major in. There are certain skill sets that they look for to predict success in law school, but I'm here to help talk to you about that or anything. So it's whatever major you want, as long as you are developing the skills that law schools are looking for. And then our colleague, Lori, is part of the pre-health advising team, and she works directly with a faculty member. And they form a really strong team, not just pre-med, but pre-allied health and things like that. There's a pre-health
pre-dentist.
but there's so many, they do so many things. And so if any of you are at all thinking about doing anything pre-health, pre-med, really strong advising team.
And Deb, just to follow up what you were saying about the skills and not any particular major, even for business and finance, you do not have to be a finance major. You do not have to be a business major. You have to develop the skills to critically think, to solve problems, to communicate. And you can do that through any major. Most recently, I've had a neuroscience major. His family was surgeons. He always thought he was going to be a surgeon. Second semester, sophomore year, he took an econ class. It lit him up. And he came into my office and said, Cheryl, I'm not going to med school anymore. I want to go into business and finance. And I had a stop and pause moment and said, okay, because he said, I'm going to finish the behavioral neuroscience major, which is a huge major. And I want to put econ on top. I was like, okay, let's think this through. How can we make this successful? Highly successful. His junior summer, he did an internship at JLL, which is a major commercial real estate organization, development organization. He went on to his senior year. He finished that second econ major along with his behavioral neuroscience, and he ended up as a consultant in the healthcare industry at PwC. And now he's just thinking about business school. So you can get there. We can help you lay the foundation for anything that you want to do, regardless of what your major is. Yes, if you want to go in to be a medical doctor or a surgeon or something like that, you have to have certain science prereqs. We can help you work that out without you having to be a hard science major. You can be an art history major. You can be a history major. You can take all these different pieces and passions for yourself. And then in addition to that, Mackenzie, correct me if I'm wrong, has anybody spoken about the pathways or the centers?
No, go for it. It would be great for everybody.
Yeah, fill in for me, all right? So in addition to your majors and minors, you can also apply to be in one of our 4 academic centers, which is Center for Arts and Technology, Center for International Studies in the Liberal Arts, the Goodwin Nearing Center for the Environment, and the Holleran Center for Community Action and Public Policy. This is in addition to your majors and minors, but it allows you to expand on a different interest of yours. You can be a science major and be accepted to be a scholar for the Holleran Center for Community Action and Public Policy, right? It's interdisciplinary, and we can help you connect all those dots. Because we had such success with our quote unquote center students, which was approximately 50 or 60 students every year, Connecticut College, again, a number of years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago now, I think 5 years ago now, turned our academics on its head, and they developed the new Connections curriculum, which is an interdisciplinary look where you can actually design your education in addition to your majors and minors, or self-design a major or minor. That's okay too. But we developed this program we called Pathways, which were modeled on the academic centers. You opt into a pathway, fall of your sophomore year, and then you take a gateway course, spring of your sophomore year, and then you have 2 years to work on your own research, your own project, whatever it may be. We call it a senior integrated project. You work on it for 2 years. You have support during those 2 years from people like us, from faculty, from the Global Commons, from all over campus to complete what it is that you're doing. And then you would participate every November usually the first week in November, we shut the college down for one entire day, and every single senior gets to present in some form or manner. Sometimes it's a dance performance. Sometimes you're in the computer lab and someone's showing you how an app they developed. Sometimes it's a poster presentation. Sometimes it's a group of panelists. There's all different ways that you can present your independent work, which again, it allows you to tie what you may think of divergent areas, allows you to tie them together.
I think you did a great job explaining the pathways, Cheryl.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah. It's,
Good.
you know, again, Khan strives to allow students to shape their own education, and it's very interdisciplinary. And I think Cheryl also hit on the fact that there is so much support at a school like Khan. One, we're small, but two, I don't know how to say this, but we have Hale Center Career has integrated itself and been allowed to integrate across campus, but so have many other departments. It's not faculty in a vacuum and career in a vacuum and other places in a vacuum. We've done a really nice job of being integrative and cross-helping. So there's just so many resources on campus, so many ways you can pursue particular areas of interest if you want to.
Yeah, no, thank you both for, all of that. I think, I know that prospective student athletes now understand why everybody, all the coaches at least, are like, our career center is like, it's the dime. It's like everyone should achieve what you guys are doing, because as you said, you see them for 4 years. You're like their life coach, right? Like you could put so many different hats on you.
You know what, Mackenzie, that's a nice way of putting it, because, and Cheryl had mentioned before, holistic, we often become kind of life coaches. Oftentimes career offices or career advisors at colleges may see a student once, make sure they've got a resume, and off they go and never again. We don't see every single student regularly, but we really establish relationships with students. And that's what all of us, I can speak for my colleagues, we love the relationships that we build with students. That's what drives us. So
those relationships, as students become alumni, that very often that's who we're tapping to come back, and they want to come back. Actually, I've got too many business and finance young alumni that want to come back and do things because of those relationships we've built. And the same thing with law. They just come back to us, how can I help? Who can I talk to? Who can I mentor? So the relationships that we've built through the career office with literally thousands upon thousands of students over the years now benefit each and every single undergrad. If you have an interest in something, we have an alum that's doing it, we're going to match you up, and that alumni is going to help you do it.
we also have really interactive engagement with alumni. We run a lot of programs, as Cheryl mentioned about the finance programs with alumni every week. I run a career conversations program every Friday afternoon, and I bring in an alum virtually until we go, in person again, where students can block a half an hour of one-on-one time with alumni across a variety of career industries. We also bring alumni in for panels across career fields constantly. We have a very robust engagement with alumni.
And with that, with the alumni and advancement offices also,
Yeah.
we constantly collaborate on different types of programming. They come to us, what do we need this year? We go to them, well, we need this. And it's a great collaborative environment to create programming with alumni that supports the undergrads.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if you guys could talk a little bit about student athletes specifically, and how the transition from being an athlete to the workforce, how you help student athletes navigate that, right? Because I think so many athletes come in and that's a huge piece of their identity, and they're transitioning out of that. And us as coaches, we're trying to help our seniors with that transition, but I'm sure you guys do a lot of that as well.
So Deb, can I start with
Yes,
this?
absolutely.
So none of you actually, I don't even know if you know this, Mackenzie, but I'm actually a nationally certified umpire. Okay, so I umpire college softball, high school softball, fast pitch, slow pitch, men's, you name it. Not right now because I recently broke my ankle, but it was good to be back on the field for a few games this spring. But one thing that we understand, and this is one thing I tell student athletes, whether they're opting out of being part of a team first year, sophomore year, junior year, or it is their senior year. You're right. Being an athlete and being a member of that team is so much a part of your identity. But I try to guide them that you're not letting that identity go. You carry that identity with you. That your love of your sport and your passion for your sport is part of what made you whom you are today. And you're going to take that commitment, that focus, that competitiveness, right? The strategy you've learned to develop as an athlete. You're taking that into whatever career it is that you want to go. And you will probably, most of you will also keep that sport with you. You might become a coach. You might become an official, right? You might teach, you might mentor, you might open up your own lacrosse school, to be determined. But that sport is always part and parcel. It's a transition when you're going from senior or when you're letting go of a team. And it's not always easy. We're not going to say it's easy, but know that you're always carrying it. It's always part of you and it's made you part of who you are today. That's really important to remember.
And the skills that you develop as an athlete are so highly coveted out in the world of work that, you know, when you start thinking about as a lifelong athlete, no matter what your sport, that you have the ability to collaborate and act as part of a team, that you are able to step up into leadership when required, that your communication skills are effective, right? And that you've learned to not just work for you, the individual, but to promote as a team and get better as a team. That directly translates into the world of work. That employers want those kind of skills all the time. So again, Mackenzie, I think we do a really good job of working with students to get them to really understand and be able to articulate exactly what they've developed that's important out into the big world. And athletes have it all over everyone else. I mean,
Get back to what you said earlier, to tell their story as an athlete.
Yeah.
Right. It's about telling their story and
Yeah.
what they bring to the table as an athlete.
People can teach you how to do a specifics of a job, mostly. They can't always teach people how to be good team players, right? That's something that develops, and that's really important, no matter what you end up doing after college. So yeah, we love athletes, and we love talking with athletes and having those aha moments sometimes with, oh yeah, right, I am able to do that. So
anyone who's in the chat live, if you guys have any questions, you know, I know it's a lot of information, but definitely throw out some questions. We want to hear from you, you know, on specifics. Something that comes to mind that might be a question is, when do these students do their internships? Is it all over the summer? And then maybe as athletes as well, are there hurdles that they run into sometimes where, you know, they're worried about their training when they're doing the internship?
I'm gonna let you go, Cheryl.
Let me go. Okay, I was going to say, go, Deb. You can see we're collaborative even within our office, and we have team advising even in our office, which is really important. You can see, you may be assigned to somebody, but you can see any one of us at any time. So that's really important to remember. There's always somebody to talk with. So when we think of, and Mackenzie, excuse me, can you say that again? Hurdles?
Yeah, if you know, if a student athlete is prioritizing their sport or training and they want to do both.
So we help them mediate that.
Yeah.
We say, okay, you're a fall athlete, and this, you know, this boils down to study away also.
Mm-hmm.
Study away is hardest on those winter athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But with winter athletes, we talk with you and say, okay, is there a class within your major or discipline that's offering a trip maybe during March break? Okay. Or is there a summer program? Or do you want to do an international internship? So it's not team or study away international experience. It's how do we mediate it to make it work for that individual athlete, which is really important.
Mm-hmm.
We're not about lumping anybody together. You're each on an individual journey, and we're there to support you in that individual journey. So we'll stop and think. Internships can be done during the summer. Yeah, that's when everybody does it. They can be done during winter break.
Mm-hmm.
They can be done over spring break.
Mm-hmm.
You can have now we all know we can do a virtual internship at any time, right?
Students are doing internships during the semester regularly,
Yeah.
especially now that we're virtual. That's really opened up a world of.
So we're here to work with each and every athlete to make it work for them. So we don't perceive being an athlete as any type of hurdle to any opportunity they want at Con. It's how do we make it work and how do we help you make it work? We're not going to do the work for you, but we'll support you in your process. Deb's laughing when I say that.
We're not going to do it for you because, right, that's not helping them, right? And that's what
No.
we're all about here at Con, is helping you do it for yourself. We're gonna meet you where you're at.
Yep.
But we want to teach you the skills to do it.
And that's what I think we do well, and give them the tools, right?
Mhm.
And help them take ownership of the process.
Great. Well, if there's no questions coming in, I guess we can wrap up. Cheryl, Deb, thank you so much for being here today with us.
We're happy
All the
to
great
do it.
info. Yeah, I can't tell you how valuable this is for our student athletes, and just information for prospective student athletes looking to be a camel one day, to know that they have you guys. Like, you're awesome. So thank you.
And
so
also, Mackenzie, I will encourage anybody, if anyone has any follow-up questions, either Cheryl or I answer email really quickly, and you can call us Cheryl and Deb. So Mackenzie, if somehow you can get our emails to them, that would be great.
Definitely.
Okay.
I will.
All right.
All right. Have a great rest of your day.
Yep.
you.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye,
you,
everybody.
Mackenzie. Cheryl, I'll see you.
Yep.
Feel
All right.
better. Feel better,
Bye-bye.
Cheryl.